Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to always spend time with you. I've been in class for a week, and then, before that, I kind of took a little week R&R, and your questions are stacking up. So I'm going to do two videos today. I'm going to do this one, and I just want to rap with you for a while. And then I want to get back to your questions because so many of these are so good. I just thumbed through them a little bit, and gosh, I'm going to have to spend more time and try to get more time to spend with you because and keep things on track. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk with you today a little bit about the difference between mind or thought and consciousness. And we talked a lot about that this week, and this class was allowed me to be more spiritual and bring that out. Through the years, I felt that as you get someone healthy with the living foods, it quiets the mind. A lot of people don't realize that there's kind of a stimulated type of energy, a hyper type of energy, and then there's pure energy. And pure energy isn't hyper. You'll see that your children on Raw quiet down. Their ability to comprehend goes way up. It's been estimated as much as 40% increase in comprehension and awareness levels. And it's just because you're plugging into energy, you're plugging into chemistry. In a class, I was trying to get over the understanding that if you back things up and you understand that if you look at it from chemistry, what creates chemistry? And of course, that's energy. So chemistry is nothing but frequencies of electromagnetic energy. And we talked about this before in quantum physics. They're understanding that energy has intelligence. Even though you can't touch it, you can't define it. And so physical scientists has had a hard time developing their spirituality. And it's because of the mind and academics. And I kind of got beat up a little bit when I started this, but it is important to understand that saints and saviors, spiritual beings of all life have taught to get control of your mind. And you can't get control of your mind with your mind. That's why all these books are coming out, and the consciousness now is teaching you to live in the moment. Be here now. Ram Dass coined that way back. The Power of the Now is another book that came out. And the Eckmasters are always talking about living in the present moment. Jesus talked about living in the present moment. Buddha. The desireless state. And there's reasons for this. And that is because mind creates creation. But mind is just an instrument that you're using. Intelligence powers up all things. Intelligence, when we look at energy and we say it's intelligent, there's nothing to define intelligence. The Easterns call that consciousness, or you could use another word, awareness. So when you get alone and you're introspecting and you're trying to figure out what gives you awareness, what gives you intelligence, that's you. That's God. That's something you can't define. That exists. It's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. It's everywhere. It's everything. Everything has intelligence. And it's hard to see that when you're looking at desks and when you're looking at the very finite elements of calcium and magnesium. It's hard to understand that. We see that in plants. We can talk to plants. Professors in college are training plants to react to chemistry now. And we talked about that before. Secret Life of Plants by Christopher Bird and Tom Tompkins has talked about how plants have emotion, how plants understand pain. Animals we know do. So we have to understand if we want to grow and uplift ourselves out of what's coming here, because hard times are coming here. There's going to be some very serious things coming onto this planet that's going to require you to let go, to work in that present moment away from the mind, because the mind is consuming. And within that consumption is corruption, is egotism, and you're seeing that everywhere you look. And so it's one thing to gain knowledge and understanding, but when you understand that you're using the mind to gain knowledge, you're generally doing it at the level that you're at, which is, in this physical world, knowledge is a funny thing, to say the least. Because at one time, knowledge depicted the world was flat, intellectually and academically, and people bought into that. What a waste of time, because it wasn't. It was a lie. So a lot of academics are based on lies and propaganda. A lot of the classes you take in college doesn't even teach the truth. And yet we are seeking knowledge. And the problem with ever seeking knowledge is you get lost as the observer, as the consciousness, as the conscious aware being. You get lost to who you are, because you're involved in the mind, and it's ever separating, dividing, comparing, and that's what mind does. It does not understand the totality of things because it's finite, and it's just a body you use. It's like your physical body's just an inert body. It's just made of chemistry. What's conscious in the body is the cells, but the cells themselves are made up of what? Chemistry. So chemistry is driven by energy, frequencies of energy, and frequencies of energy is driven by awareness. And it's important to understand these things, because we're seeing on Facebook and stuff like that, if I don't communicate enough, we're seeing people that use their minds come in and say, you need to take this vitamin or this mineral, or you need to take this amino acid. You're moving back into treatment-based thinking. And that's intellectualism. The problem with these never cure. You guys are part of the highest consciousness right now that this planet has in terms of wellness and how you get yourself free from creation. How do you grow spiritually? How do you awaken to the truth? And there's no belief systems to that. There's nothing you can hold on to that, because it's so free, and it is what you are already. And you only know those things when you're full of despair, the mind has ravished you, your emotions have ravished you, and suddenly you just let go, like born again. You just let go. And as soon as you let go, you arrive. Buddha said the desireless state. Learn how to live life desirelessly. Don't desire. Let life manifest as it will. And these are basically for those that are growing spiritually. And everyone that comes to the site might not care about that. And that's okay. Forgive me for bringing that out to you guys. But I will tell you that it's all there for each and every one to take and grow with, because your survival in the coming years depends upon that. Because the anger that's building, wars are coming, things are happening. Corruption is way out there. And this is from the educated. And this is problematic. The educated, remember, the ego is part of the mind. And when you mature your mind, the ego is being matured with it. And if you look at the most learned, if they're not a strong spiritual being, their ego overcomes them. And I hate to say this, but a huge percentage of medical doctors have been sucked into that thinking. So they're above others. Well, herbs, they're not good for you. They're bad. These people are ridiculous. They don't know what they're talking about. This is egotism. And you see it everywhere and almost in every field. You must be on guard always with your consciousness that you don't let your ego come into play here. And keep simple health and wellness, because it totally is. I brought this out at this time because it is essential for you to know how simple getting well is. All the human body is a bunch of little aware beings called cells. All your hormones, steroids, neurotransmitters that run everything are produced by these cells. Cells come together and become your muscle and bone. Cells are what makes up the human body. But you also have two major fluids. Keep it simple. You have interstitial fluids. You have two fluids, blood and lymph. Simple to understand that. The blood feeds the cells the goodies, the nutrition, the energetics to fire them up. And the lymph cleans the waste away. There's always waste produced when activity is in motion. And all things are always in motion. There's nothing static. There's always some degree of activity at some level. And there's always byproducts of energy or chemistry, depending on what level you're at, that manifest from this. And it's that simple. So on this plane, everywhere you see a house now, you have a kitchen and a bathroom in the house. Much as some of these Alaska shows, you see some of them have to walk out to the bathroom, not very pleasant. Creation is duality. Simple. Two poles fluctuating between each other, energy moving between each other, causing magnetism. So it's important to understand chemistry has to fall into that same magnetism. And so we divide chemistry into base, and the reason we call it base or alkaline, but base is because it's the dominant chemistry. Chemistry must dominate on the healing side, and that's the female side. You females take your rightful place as the God women, because you are the God people. You are the love. You are that which is. And men has always tried to suppress the female element. Sad, because it's that doorway that you find God. It's that love principle. But remember, ladies, it's a glue that can bind you to that too. You've got to give detached love with those big hearts of yours. The male side is the opposite. They're the acid, the corrosive side. That's why you see so many wars here. There's only two sides of chemistry, two major fluids that run the human body, and each fluid is responsible predominantly to deal with each side of chemistry. Blood can't be corrosive and feed the cells. They'll kill the cells. So acid is what destroys and breaks down, alters, changes. Minor acids are beneficial as the body produces them, like estrogen and testosterone, but must have their counterbalance of the feminine side, must have progesterone as their balance. Because if they dominate, if acids dominate, deterioration, inflammation, all these things are a side effect of that. You can't take supplements or anything else to fix a system that isn't filtering. And intellectually, when we look at academics, what happened to the eliminative organs of the human body? What happened to the lymphatic system in anatomy and physiology? So you have to understand that not everything that we read, not everything that's been examined to this point is factual, nor is it appropriate. And it's just one of the things you have to understand is that this world is unconscious at any given level at all times. And it can't be conscious, it wouldn't exist. It must remain unconscious to a certain point so life can fluctuate between these two poles. For those that are higher beings that want to get yourself a little more free in life, to have more fun and joy, you must pull out of that duality. You must pull back to your conscious awareness and get away from the mind a little bit. Get away from thinking. You know, when thinking processes rule, and that's how education trains you to constantly think. The problem is thought is not awareness. Thought is a process of analytical, comparing and analyzing. And sometimes, you know, when we're conditioned, and it is the biggest instrument, of course, you condition. Psychiatry, sociology, look at all these things dealing in the conditioned mind. Same way with emotions, totally conditioned. And remember, your emotional body drives your thoughts. Kind of like if you want a car. All right, you have to first think about it. Thought must enter in the picture. And if not, you're just in the now. And in the now, there's no desire, there's no thought. But then you become infinite in that. And then you understand why there's creation for the Creator. Something to do. But it goes so much deeper in understanding why the Creator set this up like this. And just what your role is in the future. It's amazing stuff. And it's enough to say, don't get off point. Just keep our site pure. You Facebook people are so beautiful. Keep yourselves pure. When new people come on board, introduce them to the simplicity of wellness and healing. Didn't say it was easy, but it is simplistic. Move it away from simplistic and you get into the David Wolfs who were raw foodists and now they're recommending digestive enzymes, probiotics, and all this other chemistry. You see that with Brian, who has to be careful. He's in trouble. You got to be careful out there about opening yourselves up to the negative forces. because we are in a battle beyond what most humans realize right now, and it's not physical. And you must become strong in your sense of yourself and knowingness and the infinite now, because the mind has tricks and doorways to lock you into spaces you're unaware of and bring attachments that you might not care for. And then it affects others, and then karma is the rule of the day. So you must always seek freedom. Seek to be away from, and use the mind when you want. Tell the mind to go look up something you wanted to, and be there listening when it comes back with the answer. Treat it like a servant, not a master, as they say. And let's keep this site powerful, because you guys are the most powerful beings on the planet. You're all very awakening, and you're getting your health in your bodies back. You know, it's tough sometimes for some of you to unwind the karma of your journey. And we call those healing crises. Some of you are in what we call in spirituality the dark night of the soul, where you're being ripped. And if you want to know the infinite, be prepared to be ripped or be prepared to let go, because it doesn't matter. I should speak, but that's how I learn too. I get ripped. But we must always breed a sense of detachment and not let anything get to you or us. We must remain all-powerful and demand truth, honesty, integrity. Help people to get out of their egos, because it's ever-consuming and it doesn't fit anyone well. We're here together as one to work and to get our wellness back and to wake up to the reality so your journey is a little better. I'll say a lot better. So remember, when you're pulling yourself out of these areas of despair, if you will, these areas of acidosis, you must work through these phases. So whether you're thinking about this concept of deficiencies or treatment-based thinking, these is where you get lost. When you correct the body's ability to digest, your body's ability to absorb nutrition, your body's ability to utilize that nutrition, and your body's ability to eliminate the byproducts from all that, you'll be well. The issue today is now the cells are so genetically mutated, and we got some serious trouble with the kids, and there's no treating this to pull this out of this. You must bring the whole power of consciousness into the cell, and it'll wake it up. It'll remutate it back to its blueprint, to its health again. And we've seen that on. Some of you are so beautiful, you've seen your body realigning, reopening up from highly mutated levels of acidosis. There's no mystery. It's life. It's God. And it's how God sets up creation. Where there's deterioration, there's regeneration. Don't be sucked into the concept that, there's nothing you can do. That's for people that use their minds. Get trapped in that. Just because someone else can't do anything, and that's part of the problem. We're being pulled into this narcissistic control of the World Bank, the narcissistic control that emanates out of that of the AMA. And so what you have is a bunch of egotistical, self-learned people who think they're above everyone else, who doesn't consider the poor guy working hard every day, who's trying to just get shelter and food, who doesn't understand health, who are fed through American Dietetics Association and a propaganda of nutritional thinking that goes way back. You study raw foods, you go back to the Essenes in Jesus' time, you go even further back, Enoch. You go back into raw foods have been taught since man decided to get away from the tropics. Goes way back. His health started deteriorating way back, but not as much as until we started playing God with chemistry, until we started pulling chemistry apart, not realizing that chemistry is synergistically bound and ratio bound. We forgot duality. We forgot the nature of acids because we bought into some philosophies or concepts of chemistry and biochemistry that is not accurate. So if you look at this, all the inflammation, all the pain, whether it's fibromyalgia, whether it's lupus, Lyme's, arthritis, RA, all the mutation falls on the acid side of chemistry. It's simply your own cellular waste chewing on you. You can't supplement digestive enzymes or anything like that. You can't do that. Don't fall into these people that are calling this because they're ruining their lives. Take digestive enzymes long enough, you'll quit digesting. Listen to some of the people on YouTube talking about that. I get them in here all the time. Now they can't digest anything because they believed in what someone said about it. We're in a world right now of making money, I guess. And people are willing to jump on and try to treat something, and that's the mind again, taking you into deeper levels of Hellville. We want Wellville. And Wellville is a world of light, like Oz, of love and beauty and wellness and healing, where we love each other and we hug each other. Good class we had this time, but we've had a good class every time. And that feels good when everybody's working together. Because this discussion on health is simplistic. And always keep it simplistic or you'll get lost again. And then you'll say, oh, well, there's just nothing can be done. Working yourself back. Remember, there's 4 phases of dis-ease. Acute, subacute, degenerative, or chronic, and then degenerative. You're going to back yourself through these phases. Remember, I was telling you this story. I had a malt one time, got a sore throat. I created an acute problem, acute sore throat through mucus. From eating proteins, dairy products that nobody likes. No human body likes dairy products, let me tell you. It's not a protein that's well accepted, especially after age 2. And that's even if it's your own mother, kids are rejecting this. We're almost having to put children on fruits out the gate almost, and coconut milks. So keep life simple always, guys. You're a part of the best, beautiful movement there is on this planet. Let's stay strong with that. Because we have so many suffering people world over. And it isn't difficult to get yourself well. We are now in the chronic and degenerative levels. So it's taking people more time to back themselves out of these levels. But back yourself out you can. Always pull yourself back to what you know to be true. If you cheat, okay, everybody does that. Don't beat yourself up. Put yourself back on a fruit fast, on a grape fast. Always use the foods to balance yourself, to pull yourself back. For those of you that are way out there like Yaz, remember our conversation the other day, Yaz? Few people can have this level of conversation because they haven't arrived at the doorway you're arrived at yet. I did, you did, and a lot of people are. And it's a conversation that only a few can have. And it deals with balance more than it does detoxification. Because you start bringing in the power that doesn't go away. And your body has to be able to handle that God power that's flowing through you. Or you burn. So each level has its own set of situations that you have to deal with. And we'll always be here to deal with each one of these levels for you. We have a lot of spiritual masters working with us here. Your inner guides, your spiritual guides. Look to that. Look to your inner self. Quiet that mind. Put that mind in the corner, the ego in the corner. Keep it simple. And you'll be happy and full of joy. Don't let things pull you away. Don't let anyone pull you away. This is your world. You've created it. Now uncreate those things you don't want. And you'll enter a sense of joy when you start to see life is moving here, whether you're involved or not. It's going on. So if you set yourself away from that and live as little children again, live in the now, you'll have more fun. But live consciously. Be aware and awake. Don't let people suck your energy away because this is on all levels. There are people sitting in on people of levels that don't know it. There's a lot of things going on here at all these levels that the Homo sapien has been protected from by religions and things. And it's time that humans wake up to this, because there's a lot going on. We mentioned the reptilian race, and somebody freaked out. Let me tell you, start being aware of what's really going on out there. There's things going on that just would freak a lot of people out. So I don't go there. But I do recommend you get yourself strong. And the best way to get yourself strong is get away from the mind. Always be the watcher at the threshold of your awareness. Don't let anything in. Be that mirror that echoes back or reflects back that which comes to you. Be that vehicle that only allows the God power to flow through you. Be the light, the joy to others, the honesty and the integrity of others. Sounds funky, but our judicial system has lost its way. In most countries, and particularly in America, it's so corrupt it's not even funny. Because you don't have spiritual people running it. You have academically inclined people that are ruled by the mind. It's used to say we have no more law in America. We operate by policy. So look at the IRS, totally by policy and corruption. And so they're getting away with ripping people from one side to another. And this is true all over the world. So now people are living in poverty everywhere. Taxation is out the roof. And look historically what happens when that happens. War. So it's real important that one protects themselves and tries to uplift others so we can stop this cyclic thing that's going on. Now, whether we can or not, well, it's not important, I suppose. What is important is you. And your awareness, and your health, and your happiness. Protect yourself from this world of matter, duality, of acid and base. Get to that neutral position where you're neither male nor female. You understand and respect both sides, but that you're neutral, that you give love no matter what you see. These are higher ways to express yourself in a world full of matter and chemistry. This world is the most mundane, the most inert world of all the God worlds. Because when you leave this world, it is more energetic. Your bodies are more energy-driven than they are chemical-driven. But still here, energy drives chemistry. Intelligence drives energy. And intelligence is that which is behind all eyes. That is behind all individual beings. And when you get into these higher levels and understand that intelligence, it merges and becomes one at certain levels. And you begin to understand we are all one, simply experiencing in individualities, experiencing life as separateness. And it makes for a good movie. It makes for good drama. I've always said that a good director will make the movie so good you'll forget you're there watching it until the movie's over and you wake up and go, wow, shoo, boy. Ew. And your body was beat up because you absorbed yourself into the action. That's how you experience life in creation, is you absorb into it. Take on a mind that starts the process of thought. You take on the emotional body that sets desire. And at this level, people have physical bodies, no matter what they look like. And on what planet and what level. And there's so much, there's so much energy and frequencies out there. It's hard to explain all that. It's hard for people to accept some of these things because man's been sheltered. Governments still don't want people to know about beings that are coming in here. Ronald Reagan knew it. It was obvious. People know it. So, share. Always become one. We're one on this planet. No one's better than another. And if there's someone needing help, we're here to help. So even though I can't get to a lot of these, and I will, this next video, I'm going to really try to catch up and cover a lot of these questions that you have. And I keep them coming because I love you guys. I just haven't had time, but I'm making time now. And, I needed to spend some R&R to get myself taken care of. So I love you all. Keep yourself in balance. You guys on the Facebooks, keep it simple. Keep people always detoxing. Remember healing crisis. Healing crisis is going to bring the same symptom out at some time or another. We've talked about this. And it's hard to always remember that. But pain can be a very big part of healing crisis. Discomfort, immobility, all kinds of things, because you're getting into a highly ravished area full of acids, which are damaging and mutating cells, and you're pulling that out of there. Your genetic weaknesses will be exposed. Pass them on. Keep going for the light, the power, the love, the energy, the wellness. Don't let that invade and overshadow everything in your life. And you'll win. And someday, however long it takes, you will walk out the door a whole new you in every level possible. And that's thrilling. It's thrilling because man has got so lost. His head is in the sand like an ostrich. He's been kept down by education systems, by health systems, what they call health systems, healing systems like allopathy and nutritional thinking. This has done the most to suppress man. High-protein diets, radical opinions that hold no water in actuality or facts. And these are things you can prove on yourselves. The differences. And you're already seeing that. We have tens of thousands of people worldwide that are changing the way they're feeling and experiencing. And my heart is just open because it's so beautiful to see you guys get your life back. Get your wellness back. Don't take no for an answer. We must be the strong ones, guys. Because everyone else is being consumed into unconsciousness, into control and power and narcissism. We must be the light of God that comes forth and shows that love of freedom and joy and happiness and simplicity. Drives the intellectual crazy. Sorry, you can use your mind all you want, but remember who's using your mind. Come to yourself again at times and give that mind a rest, because we're in for a bumpy ride coming forth. So get yourself free, get yourself healthy. We're always here to help you. We might be busy at times, we apologize for that, but don't let anything stop you from getting to Wellville. You got tumors, get your lymph. Notice almost everything. If you focus predominantly on lymph, you understand the role of the kidneys, the role of the eliminative organs. This is all about elimination of that which is stagnation, that which is obstructive in the human body. And there's only two sides of chemistry. So by moving these heavy metals and toxins and neurotoxins and acids out of the human body, cells can then uplift themselves into their consciousness, into their sense of wellness. That which is weak becomes strong. That which mutated becomes health again. It's that simple. I don't care if you're a child that was pulled out of the mother and mutated heads. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the mutation. Your body loves health, and there's a blueprint about you, about your physical form in the causal world. And you can get that energy and that consciousness, that awareness of these cells, because these are just a bunch of little people. Remember, there's nothing in creation that isn't intelligent, that doesn't have intelligence. It might not have self-awareness, but it has awareness. That's why I surround myself with plants. Their awareness, and they're always just giving. They're just giving. It's like animals, they just give. And that's where we should be. You just give love and beauty. And you can enjoy yourself. You can have fun and do things. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to cheat to balance yourself out. Remember balance. Balance is a very important aspect of wellness because you're going way out there on some of these energetic programs. The all-fruit diet is the most energetic, the most conscious way of eating there is. The most chemically alive way of eating. And it'll uplift the body so powerfully that sometimes it can bring confusion of consciousness only because you haven't opened yourselves up to that. And those that are going to be cleaned out. So remember that for those that are the God people that want to know the ultimate and have the ultimate experience, the God conscious state, as we call it, be prepared to be ripped You can't have the finite and the infinite simultaneously, except for taking on a body and nurturing it. But you have to be careful. There's a certain amount of unconsciousness that's essential to keep your bodies here. Because when you're some of the most conscious, it's too powerful for this level. It just fries everything. So there has to be a certain level of unconsciousness to allow this plane to still exist. So it's interesting. There's so much to learn and grow into. But you can't learn it through the mind. You must learn it through awareness. Awareness is self-perpetuating. There's nothing, you don't have to worry about knowledge. It is knowledge. It is all things. Hard to describe that sometimes. So the quieter you get yourself, the more you work in the now, the answers of life just come flooding into you. You see things where before the mind was too busy with thought processes to see things. So I'm going to cut this video off and prepare here to answer a bunch of questions here. I'm going to come back, try to give 2 or 3 hours here. I apologize. And I also have this weekend. I'm going to try to come in this weekend and catch up here. So hopefully you'll have a lot of videos to watch here. Keep yourself strong. Keep yourself focused in a way. Don't be pulled away from the naysayers or those, because there's nothing for them to say. Nothing out there is healing people. Vitamins and minerals and supplements and all this thing. Everyone's saying, oh, you got to try this. You already have your feet on the highest path there is. You will not find higher. So keep it there and don't be pulled away. And you will experience an unbelievable sense of energy, of wellness, and of awareness. So, with great love, I will talk to you in the next video.